This is Talk Where You Know Sports. I'm your host, The Ghost, greatest host of sports talk, where we talk sports topics to the grave. Week 2 is upon us in the NFL, so we're going to get right to it with my predictions and what I think is going to happen in each game. Well, not necessarily what's going to happen, but what the outcome will be. Thursday night brings us to Charlotte, North Carolina, where the Tampa Bay Buccaneers visit the Carolina Panthers. Cam Newton is coming off a bad performance. Jameis Winston is coming off of a more pathetic performance than that. Cam Newton only passed for 239 yards. He was 25 completions out of 38 attempts. He threw one interception, no touchdown passes. Quarterback rating of 72.1, passer rating. But the difference is he went up against the Los Angeles Rams, the Super Bowl runner-ups, led by Aaron Donald on that defense. So Cam Newton actually fared the best he could against that particular team. Jameis Winston, on the other hand, he played the San Francisco 49ers. I mean, their defense is not nearly as good as the Los Angeles Rams. And Jameis Winston continues to struggle in his career. He threw 3 interceptions, had one touchdown pass. He was only 20 completions out of 36 attempts in the loss to the 49ers. He passed for 194 yards. So, again, this season is critical for him in terms of if he's going to last in the NFL as an NFL quarterback. It's just kind of hard to think that he would struggle this poorly after winning the Heisman Trophy a few years back in college football. So the Sunday games starts off with the 1 o'clock games, which is in Cincinnati. The Cincinnati Bengals will take on the San Francisco 49ers. The 49ers are 1-0. The Cincinnati Bengals gave a hard-fought effort against the Seattle Seahawks, but came up short, so they're 0-1. I got the San Francisco 49ers winning that game. I just think that Jimmy Garoppolo, he got his victory with the 49ers, so he has a little momentum going into that contest. The Cincinnati Bengals are one of the few teams that I stated is on the rebuild, so I don't see Cincinnati being successful, although this is their home opener. In Detroit, the Lions are facing the Los Angeles Chargers coming to town from the West Coast. The Lions, as you know, gave up a 24-9 lead in the fourth quarter against the lowly Arizona Cardinals, starting a rookie quarterback in Kyler Murray. But I think the Lions will bounce back and pull the upset on the Los Angeles Chargers because, again, they let that game slip away, and they know they have to perform a lot better. And the coaching staff of the Detroit Lions know they have to perform a lot better on that sideline to be victorious. So I think that everybody's going to give a joint effort there in that game, and the Lions will win that and be 1-0-1. A huge matchup in Lambeau Field with the Green Bay Packers hosting the Minnesota Vikings for first place in the NFC North. This game is another divisional contest for the Packers and another revenge tour game for Aaron Rodgers. So I think he's going to pull that one off as well, and the Packers will go to 2-0. In Tennessee and Nashville, the Titans of Tennessee will take on the Indianapolis Colts. Indianapolis Colts, again, without Andrew Luck. They battled the Los Angeles Chargers in week 1 but lost. Tennessee pulled off the upset, if you want to call it that, blowing out the Cleveland Browns in week 1. I think Tennessee is going to capitalize on that victory and win this one and go 2-0 as they're trying to get off to a good start. Speaking of good starts, New England is on a excellent start, a Super Bowl type start as they blew out the Pittsburgh Steelers. So again, they are catching a break. This is pretty much like a vacation because they'll be down in Miami playing the Miami Dolphins. So not only are they going to be in a beautiful city that is Miami, but they are playing a lowly, rebuilding Miami team. So, of course, Tom Brady will have no problems of leading this team to victory there. The Buffalo Bills and the New York Giants, I think the Buffalo Bills will pull that one off and be 2-0. The Giants are rebuilding as well. Buffalo is trying to scratch and claw and make the playoffs. So they will have an easy victory there, and they will go 2-0 in the state of New York against the Giants as they did beat the Jets last week. The Seattle Seahawks will travel to Pittsburgh to play the Steelers. This is going to be a huge game, a huge early game for Big Ben and the Steelers as they got blown out by New England. Unfortunately, they had to try to bounce back against Russell Wilson. So that's going to be a great contest. I'm going to pick Pittsburgh to win this game. It's hard to kind of bet against Russell Wilson, but I will go against I will go against them this Sunday as Pittsburgh will win that home opener. The Dallas Cowboys, riding high off that blowout victory against the New York Giants, will face another divisional opponent in the nation's capital, playing the Washington Redskins. I think the Dallas Cowboys will go 2-0. Dak Prescott, again, is trying to get that contract extension. So he's going to come out in this game, and he's going to try to hit the Redskins early and often for touchdowns. Ezekiel Elliott is, of course, on cloud nine right now with his new deal, new contract. He had a great game against the Giants. I don't see him taking a step back at all against the Redskins. The Arizona Cardinals versus the Baltimore Ravens. This is going to be a game in which Kyler Murray will get exposed. He kind of got exposed against the Lions last week, but whatever that was out of the Lions defense in the fourth quarter or out of the Lions team in the fourth quarter pretty much made Kyler Murray have a more successful game than what he should have had in his debut. But I think Baltimore will bring him back down to reality. He's going to learn a lot in this game. The Baltimore Ravens will beat the Arizona Cardinals. Lamar Jackson is just sensational. Kyler Murray probably will be on that sideline learning a lot from Lamar Jackson during that game. In Houston losing their heartbreaker to New Orleans on Monday Night Football, going up against the Jacksonville Jags. The Jacksonville Jaguars did lose Nick Foles. So, again, they have another quarterback situation. And the Houston Texans will capitalize on that. This is Houston's home opener, so Houston's definitely going to rock and roll. Deshaun Watson and Hopkins should be able to have a field day this game. The Oakland Raiders playing the Kansas City Chiefs. They had their final Monday Night Football game in the city of Oakland, which they were real impressive looking against Denver. But they got Patrick Mahomes coming into town. Patrick Mahomes posed different problems than what Joe Flacco poses. So KC should be 2-0 after this game against their nemesis. So they should be able to pull that one off. The Bears are traveling to Denver, which in Denver's home opener, it will feature the Bears' former coach going up against his former team, Nick Fangio. Nick Fangio did not have a successful outing against the Oakland Raiders, but he knows his former team well. But I still give the edge to the Bears. I just think the Bears will be too much. The Bears are going to try to bounce back to keep pace in the division with the Green Bay Packers and Minnesota Vikings. So they will bounce back and beat Denver Broncos. The New Orleans Saints and the Rams, this is going to be a great game. Probably be the best game of the day as the Saints travel out to L.A. to play the Rams. Drew Brees versus Jared Goff. Rematch of the NFC title game and the pass interference that was not called. So the Saints will come in that game motivated, and the Rams know that they're going to come in there motivated. So this is just going to be a shootout. I'm predicting that the Saints will win this revenge game. I think it's going to be probably a score of about 38-35, something like that, but it's going to be a lot of back and forthness in that game. And then the Sunday night game in the ATL, in which the Philadelphia Eagles visit Atlanta to play the Falcons. The Philadelphia Eagles should win this game pretty easy. Atlanta looked awful against the Minnesota Vikings in their first matchup. So that is it for the Sunday's games. And then we have the Monday night tilt in which the Cleveland Browns will visit New York to play the Jets. Odell Beckham Jr. returning back to New York, not against his former team, but against the other New York team. Cleveland better have a different output in this game and a better showing than what they did in week one, because that was embarrassing. So I do look for Cleveland to do just that and get the victory against the Jets. If they lose this game, then a lot of people in Cleveland are going to be wearing the bags over their heads, and despite all this talent that they have, probably be saying the same old Browns. So just let me know what you think about all my picks here for week 2. Let me know how you feel about the picks. And just make sure that you continue to subscribe, continue to check out all my social media outlets for any breaking news, notes, and other sports-related information.